Hi. I was just taking a drink real quick. Okay, so there's so much happening today in my little Stampin' Up world. It's hard to know where to start. And I've had a very busy morning, so things are a little bit more chaotic around my desk than typical. Let's see. So, big news. Stampin' Up has announced that beginning today and through the rest of the month, if you would like to sign up to be a demonstrator, even if you just want to get the discount, that's okay. It's only $75 through the end of this month. And for that $75, you get to pick $125 worth of merchandise from Stampin' Up's catalog. It's amazing. So I think that is a spectacular deal, and I would love to have you on my team. I would be happy to support you, whether you just want to be a hobby demonstrator. That's how I started. Because sometimes, let's face it, those joining deals are just too good to pass up. Or if you would like to try and make a business out of Stampin' Up. So if you're interested, just let me know. I would be happy to chat with you about that. I think Stampin' Up is amazing. I love all the products. I love the demonstrator support team is amazing. If you have any questions or concerns while you're a demonstrator, they are the best support team. Like, they're phenomenal. And just the community is a great community. Lots of creative people out there. And you just can't pass up this value. I mean, really, it's great. I say great a lot. So some other things that are happening. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, and I don't think I have an intact kit behind me. I've taken them all apart and put things away. But Paper Pumpkin is a monthly subscription where you get a kit and you can create, sometimes it's cards, sometimes it's like little gift packaging, sometimes it's home decor. You just never know what you're going to get, and that is part of the fun of it. But you always get a stamp set and a little ink block, and all the supplies that you need except maybe a pair of scissors to create the projects included. So, and it comes monthly. It's $22 a month plus tax. So that is a great deal as well. But right now, if you're a subscriber, you can also get 3 of the kits from this spring. And one of those kits was my favorite. It was like popsicles and rainbows and watermelons. It was just fun colors, fun kit. I loved it. But you can get 3. So you get that one and the baseball one. I think there was an adventure one. Oh, let me show you. There it is. So these are the 3 kits that you get for $28.50. Come on, you can't beat that. That is a great price. The catch is you have to already be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. So even if you subscribe today, then you could order all 3 of these. And you don't have to stay subscribed forever. If you try it for a month and you decide that that is just not for you, then you can always cancel at any time. So let me just skip on over to this other picture here. So this is the Eden's Garden collection. And this collection is what I'm going to be using today. I don't have the gems yet. And I'm not going to be using the cotton paper today, although I do love it. So the 2 papers on the bottom right corner, that is cotton paper in soft succulent and evening evergreen. So pretty. And just it's almost like tissue paper feeling, but it's sturdier than that. It's hard to explain exactly what that is. But so the Eden's Garden collection, which is everything that you see on the screen, the stamps, the die cuts, the designer series paper, the gems, and the cotton paper, the whole thing in the US is $82. So if you were to sign up as a demonstrator, you could get all of that plus more. You could choose more things from the catalog. And so the stamp and the dies will be in the January to June catalog that will be coming out in a couple of months. So this is an early release, but the papers and the embellishments are only available during the promotion or while supplies last. So the promotion ends January 3rd, but if they start running out of these things, then you won't be able to get them. So if there's something on this screen that you really love that's not the dies or the stamps, those will still be available no matter what. But you don't want to miss out on these other things. Okay, so I think that that's all of the things I had to tell you today. It was a lot all of a sudden. Very exciting stuff. So if you have questions about any of it, I went through it all pretty quick, but I would love to answer those questions for you. Okay, so now let's make our card. Like I said, I'm using the I'm using the Eden Dies and the Eden's Garden stamp set for this one. And I'm also using the Designer Series paper, but not the cotton paper this time. And I don't have the gems. I was so sad when I placed my order. I got this early, y'all. And when I placed my order, the gems were not available yet. I should have waited. Oh well. And I haven't even, so I have my card base cut, but I don't have the rest of it cut because like I said, it has been busy around here. So I'm using this sheet of paper from the set, and like, isn't that cool? The way it goes from dark on the bottom to light on the top. So those colors are the Evening Evergreen is what's on the bottom, and the Soft Succulent is what's on the top. And the Evening Evergreen end is the end I'm using. Oh, let me just turn my little thing around so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this, and I want to use this part. So I'm trimming it about 5 1/4. Put that to the side, and then I want a gold background behind this. And I have just a little bit of gold left. That's not wide enough. So, excuse me just a minute while I run and get a die, and I'll show you a trick. Let me go ahead and get it cut. So I'm cutting this at 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. That way it can fit on my card base, and it'll just be a nice little border behind that Designer Series paper. Okay, I had to run and get my rectangle die. So this is one of the larger rectangle dies, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to cut out the middle of this gold foil paper because I don't want to waste any of this paper. I'm just going to place this on here. I'm going to center it up pretty good. Give it a little adjustment. And I'm going to run it through. Bet that was loud on that microphone. I'm sorry about that. And then I have this piece that I can save and use on another card at a later date. So just a little trick. If you have some cardstock that you don't want to waste any of, that is a good way to do it. So I'm going to get my mat so I don't get glue everywhere. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this liquid glue around the inside edge of this gold foil piece. And oh my goodness, I'm getting ahead of myself today. Let me put that to the side. We have some stamping to do, y'all. Okay, so I've turned this upside down. And I'm going to use... So this is my favorite part about the stamp set. The sentiments. I'm a sucker for a good sentiment. And these, dear friend, how are you? My heart is tied to yours. Tug if you need anything. Hello there, sending hugs. And let's celebrate everything. I love these sentiments. And I'm going to be honest. They're pretty much why I bought this whole set. So I'm using the Dear Friend, How Are You? And I'm going to use my Versamark, which is right in front of me. And before I do that, I'm going to use my little embossing buddy and get some of that static out of here. Versamark, if you don't know, it's just a clear ink and it's real sticky. So it is perfect for using when you're embossing. So I've got my gold embossing powder to go with my gold foiled sheet that I have there. I'm just going to sprinkle that on top. And I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time. And I just realized you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, close that up. I'll move it to the side. And I'm going to get my heat tool and let it warm up for just a bit. And there we go. My cord for my heat tool is stuck under my desk, so that was a little awkward. Isn't that pretty though? I love the way that that gold embossing powder melts on top of that Versamark. Okay, so now let's see if this is still wet enough. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more glue right here. And a little bit here. And a little bit down here. Place this on top. There we go. Then I'm going to take this die. So usually when you see my dies, I already have them on magnet sheets. But this one, I don't quite yet. So I'm going to get the two smaller ones. I'm going to get a scrap of Evening Evergreen cardstock. And I'm also going to get a scrap of that gold foil sheet. So I'm going to run that through with that one. Then I'm going to run this through this one. Okay, I'll just pop these right out. Oh, I'm going to have to use my Take Your Pick tool. There we go. Okay, so I'm also going to use my ribbon. And I think, let's see. So I did a class today that was not at home. And I have not been home very long since I did that class. So everything is still not put away. I thought I had it all out that I needed, but turns out no. So I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue on the back of this. This is another one of those instances where if I had thought about it ahead of time, using the sticker sheets would really make this a lot simpler. But for some reason, I'm just not in the habit of using that yet. I'm using my Take Your Pick tool just to pop out these insides that don't need to be there. All the little extra bits. So I'm just using the liquid glue around this and some of the wider areas so that I can stick it down in a second. That looks good to me. So this is going to be my frame around the sentiment. Oh boy. It's a good thing that dries clear because I just made a little bit of a mess. Okay, so that's very subtle, the evergreen on the evergreen, but then I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. In fact, I'm going to use mini Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to cut one in half. I think I have a random pair of scissors up here. Not my typical crafting scissors. This is my Stampin' Up boxes scissors. And my Amazon boxes scissors. Okay, then we get one more dimensional. I did that backwards. So this dimensional that I cut in half, I'm going to put it on this narrow bottom leaf. And then this mini dimensional that's a whole dimensional I'm putting on top. It's a little wider. I'm going to put that down here. And then I'm going to take this ribbon. I'm just going to cut enough to wrap the, oh look, I have my ribbon scissors, that's happy. So I just cut enough to where I can wrap the ends and hide them behind this card front. I'm putting a glue dot on either end. Then I can just wrap it around. I want it fairly tight, but not too tight. I'm going to take another piece of this and I'm going to tie a faux bow around this ribbon. This is my favorite way to tie bows, especially with ribbon like this. This ribbon is a little bit thicker. It's not super thick, but just a little bit. It's really not as thick as I had it in my head, but I still like to tie bows like this. It's fast and easy. And then I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool one more time. And I'm going to hide this behind the bow and just stick it down so that it doesn't move. It stays right where I want it. Then under here I have tacked my card base, making sure it's opening the correct way. And I'm going to get my regular Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm putting them on each of the corners. And over here on either side. So this designer series paper, it is really pretty. I probably used the plainest piece for this project that is included in the set. In fact, I have my little, I always cut my samples to keep at my desk so I don't have to pull the whole pack out every time I want to create a card, but look at how gorgeous that is. And of course they're double-sided. But they all have this wonderful gold embellishing on one side, and then the other side is plainer. So these are going to be, I see Christmas cards coming with these. I need to get them out fast, but of course they'll be great for cards all year. But I do believe these are going to make some gorgeous. I think that's one of my favorite pieces. That one and this one. Oh, who am I kidding? They're all pretty. I like these. No gold there, but it's just fun. Okay, so here's our card. And if I had those gems, I think it would probably end up with some gems on it as well. And for the inside, I would definitely add a piece of basic white for the inside so that you have a nice pretty spot to write on. In fact, let me go ahead and do that. So the one that I chose for this card for the inside is "My heart is tied to yours, tug if you need anything." And I'm going to use Evening Evergreen to stamp that. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this greenery, and I think I'm going to stamp it with Soft Succulent. Just right here on the corner. And then I can go ahead and put that inside the card and it'll be all ready to go. That was it. Pretty quick card for today. So thank you for watching my video. Let me know if you have any questions about the Eden's Garden stamps or designer series paper, any of the products in this, or if you have any questions about the joining special that is going on right now, or the Paper Pumpkin 3-for-1. So lots happening, very exciting, and y'all have a great afternoon. I'll see you next week. Happy stamping!